Well, we're discussing the impact of the budget on India's startup ecosystem with Mohandas Pai, chairman of Aarin Capital, Padmaja Ruparel. Also with us, Gopal Jain, managing partner of Gaja Capital, and Vishesh Rajaram, managing partner of Speciale Invest. Padmaja, the parity between unlisted and listed at 12.5%. Does this materially change things?
Yes, I mean, it's already starting to show up since day before yesterday, post the budget evening. We have been getting calls from people wanting to become angel investors. So clearly, I think the angel tax was one issue, and the equalization on tax capital gains is starting to see that clearly is there. And I think there is going to be more domestic, private, individual, and family office money coming in. Second, I think there is this whole piece on Space Tech Fund and Anushandhan Fund. I think this is going to unlock more private money also, because it will help to start moving the country towards a product economy, bringing in research and to commercialization. There is already an interest, very early interest, but I'm hoping this will really start unleashing domestic money into these areas. And thirdly, I think with various funds coming in, be it the Agri-Share Fund, the Space Tech Fund, I think some of the emerging deep tech sectors will start seeing a faster growth, with capital coming in from within and outside of the country. So yes, I think we are seeing this is going to be quite a catalyst in that sense.
From an execution standpoint, Gopal, what do you believe now the government needs to be mindful of?
I agree with Padmaja. There are a lot of good things in this budget, many positive steps in the right direction. But to your point about mobilizing domestic savings, a lot more needs to be done. I'm sure it'll be done. India is the world's second largest savings factory, but the pathways that connect our savings to the private market are not in place. The pathways for public markets are in place, but the pathways for private markets are not in place. What this has done is that it has placed our domestic private markets in the hands of global players, and we are exporting the ownership of our private sector companies. The only effective way to mobilize domestic savings for the private sector, for the unlisted sector, is to create a vibrant fund of funds ecosystem. Talking about execution, in the 2022 budget, there was a proposal that the government would come forward and start anchoring more fund of funds. And these are, flick of the pen reforms which can be operationalized. For example, enabling pensions to invest in private equity. We have $2.5 trillion in banks. We have $500 billion of savings in insurance. We have $500 billion of savings in pensions. We just need to create the pathways, Shri.
Vishesh, again, build on what we heard there from Mr. Pai, Padmaja and Gopal. Now, in terms of next steps, in terms of what you believe needs to be added on to the unfinished reform agenda from a startup perspective, what would you like to see?
Yeah, I think I'll build upon what Mr. Pai said. You have to think about nation building at all levels, at people, at product, at infrastructure levels. And I think going back to the question that you had on, hey, what could one way to use this 1,000 crore fund that's been set up first? One has to possibly step back and say, what are core competencies that we can build for ourselves from a geosensitivity standpoint, which will sort of be very crucial to India from the space sector standpoint. So I think building out launch capability, building out commercialization of satellites, having capacity to build more satellites to put it out to space, either from an Earth observation or communication standpoint, will be crucial, and I think will be good use of this form of capital. And I think going back to some of the other reforms, particularly the one for R&D, and I know they're talking about a fairly long-term debt approach or a grant approach to it, and a lot of it will play itself out. I think these are important moves, and we have to think long-term of really nation building, capacity building, and building defensibility for ourselves from technology standpoint.
Mr. Pai, I'll give you the final say in exactly 10 seconds. How much better is the startup ecosystem post July 23rd, 2024?
Well, I would say 20-25%, because look, you have to remove the past and clean up the past. The 1,000 crore startup fund for space is nothing, it's peanuts. India is a big country. We've got 11,111 crores for infrastructure, and you're giving 1,000 crore for startups. At least put in 5,000-6,000 crores. Put a 50,000 crore fund of fund. Get the LIC to open up on policy. Ask IDA to remove all the policy bottlenecks for LIC. LIC and insurance companies invest 10 lakh crores a year. I mean, if they invest 10,000 crore in startups, 1% of the annual investment, they got a balance sheet of 60-70 lakh crores.
I guess the government will also have to consider profitability of startups, sir. When the startups actually start making money is when the government will perhaps feel emboldened to let LIC and others invest.
Shirin, what is this profitability? 4 lakh crores given as subsidy by central government, 8 lakh crores given by subsidy by central government and states. Can't they put 10,000, 15,000 crore to create job for young people, even if they give grant? What does it matter? Creating job for young people, all these people, enthusing them, investing, creating global giants is priority number one for this country. You can't be parsimonious and give some peanuts. We're not going to get many gig companies for the 1,000 crore. It's a good gesture. But why can't they think big? Remember, in 2015, startup fund 10,000 crores. They're still giving tricklets every year. This year they're giving 1,200 crores. Last year 1,450 crores. Many months they never gave money. They got to stop being parsimonious. Get a $4 trillion economy. Put money on the table. Make India grow. And these young entrepreneurs, the future of this country. Shirin, for 25 years or so, you've spoken about startups. You've seen them grow. Don't you also want them to become global giants? We need to put money on the table.
I started talking about startups, Mr. Pai. You know that we started talking about startups before anybody was talking about startups.
Yes.
So we've been believers in the startup story for 22 years, sir.
Yes, I know.
But we will continue with this conversation and this debate. Unfortunately, completely out of time today. But Mohandas Pai, Padmaja Ruparel, Vishesh, Rajaram and Gopal Jain, many thanks for joining us here on this special edition of Young Turks. We are going to take a break. There's a lot more coming up. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment with more.